Hello and welcome to Wrestling with Anime. I'm Paul, and I'm joined by the Virgil to my Ted DiBiase, Justin. Yes, I just called you Virgil.
Is he the black guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the servant?
Is he? Yeah, the black rich guy.
No. He's a servant. Ted DiBiase's the rich one.
Black rich boy. No,
he isn't rich.
Okay, fine, but he's part of the rich boy team.
Yes.
So I basically name everyone based on things.
No, you're basically my bitch.
No. I want to be your servant. I love what he did, though. Right when White Rich Boy won. Sorry, I'm still calling them by names that I've given them.
It's pretty great. Okay, so we are going to... I had Justin watch Royal Rumble 1991.
Yep.
And Justin had me watch the first 4 episodes of Avatar.
The Last Airbender.
The Last Boring Bender, yes. So why don't we start off with Royal Rumble?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Royal Rumble 91. First match that we get to see is the Rockers, which is Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels, against the Orient Express, Kato and Tanaka, with Mr. Fuji at ringside.
Yep, so we got the Blondies versus the Japanese.
Oh my god. Show some goddamn respect.
This is my respect.
It's pretty shitty.
Well, anyway, I love how the Japanese guys that jump over all the other guys like a whole bunch of times, or leapfrogs over them.
Yeah,
they've got quite the bounce.
Oh, okay, so does anybody in this match seem familiar to you? Like, did you know anyone? There's one person in this who's kind of a legend. So
probably on the Blondie side. I don't know.
Yes, one of the Blondies, as you refer to them. God damn it! You called the Rockers the Blondies, and they can murder you.
Oh, I know too well. I don't really remember the names of the in this match.
So there was Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels.
Probably Shawn Michaels.
Yes, Shawn Michaels became a legend, and Marty Jannetty became Marty Jannetty. There's a saying within the pro wrestling fandom. When you have a tag team of 2 people who are pretty good, somebody's going to be the next Shawn Michaels, and somebody's going to Jannetty it.
Okay then.
So Jannetty was very talented, but he had his issues and never really rose to the level he should have. But what did you think of this match?
It was quite obvious that they made the Japanese as heels.
Well, yeah, of course they did. This is early 90s WWF. If you're not like white bread America, you're a heel.
Which is silly to me, but I mean, I get it.
Justin.
Americans really get off on that sort of thing, so...
Someday we're going to have to do the Sergeant Slaughter heel turn. Or Sergeant Slaughter...
Sergeant Slaughter is like another match in this...
Yes, but he eventually ends up turning heel and aligning himself with Saddam Hussein.
And they made Saddam Hussein a wrestler?
No, he was just like... Sergeant Slaughter was just in favor of Saddam's reign, and he got a pair of boots from Saddam. That had the little toe curl gimmick.
Oh boy.
It was very sensitive.
Okay.
This might have been during the First Gulf War. It was very sensitive.
Anyways, I like the finish of this match where they basically catapulted. Blondie got catapulted, grabbed and rolled the Japanese guy and held him to a pin. Is how I wrote it.
Okay. One of my favorite spots, I don't remember who does it exactly. It's the Orient Express. I don't remember if they pick up Marty or Shawn. But they pick up one of them, and the other Orient Express dude comes along and like grabs him and like it's almost like does like an assisted flapjack onto the top rope, and it looks really cool.
Yeah, there were some interesting moves this match.
Yeah, I think if you took this match and put it on a current pay-per-view, nobody would complain. It's fast-paced, it's a lot of fun, it's just a good opener to kind of get the crowd going.
For sure.
So next up, we have the Barbarian.
Barbarian versus Cop.
Big Boss Man. He's not a cop, he's a prison guard.
Alright.
With Bobby Heenan.
But that's fine.
With Bobby Heenan at ringside.
Alright.
The greatest manager ever.
Alright.
So what did you think of this? Because this ended up going 14 minutes. It went 14 goddamn minutes.
I have to admit that it was a very odd combination. And the Barbarian loves giving big hugs. Because that's what most of the match was.
It's a lot of bear hugs because he's fucking gassed.
I don't know. That's all I can really, well, yeah. That's all I got out of this whole thing.
Yeah,
basically.
it's not terribly good. Bossman's, like, doing the best he can, because he's pretty fucking talented, but, I mean, he's in the ring with fucking Barbarian. And his name's the Barbarian. Even Bobby Heenan can't make him great.
Well, at least they finished it with, Barbarian jumping from the top rope, landing on him, and, reversing into a quick pin.
Yeah, it's kind of a dumb finish.
To get it out of here.
So, next up, we have Sergeant Slaughter with General Adnan. So, this is technically... this is heel Sergeant Slaughter, so he's aligned himself with Saddam at this point. But he has not gone up against Hulk Hogan yet, which they would do at WrestleMania this year. He is going up against the Ultimate Warrior for the WWF World Heavyweight Championship.
So I wrote him down as American Warrior versus Slaughter.
So you didn't even get his name right.
Exactly. It was because he's just decked out in a billion American flags. It's fucking obvious.
The iconic face paint didn't do anything?
No, it didn't.
Oh my god. So what do you think of Sergeant Slaughter?
He's,
Shit, yes.
Yeah.
He is. He's got no fucking knees left. And he doesn't give a shit. Ultimate Warrior, what do you think of him?
So, I guess he has a thing against, Macho King?
Yes. They're feuding at this point.
Yeah. I think that was the main part of the match.
Yeah, okay, so Randy Savage runs in, attacks Ultimate Warrior. Yeah. I love the attack. Like, it's so sudden, like he just, boom, he hits him and he runs away.
Yeah, he ran in with his scepter and smashes him across the face.
It's so much.
And then,
it's 10 on 10.
And then Slaughter just pins him.
Well, first he puts him in the really crappy looking camel crutch. Or camel clutch, not crutch, god damn it. But Warrior's feet are under the rope, so he gets... Slaughter thinks he's won the title, but no. And then he eventually ends up getting the belt. But it's not very good. It's kind of shit. And I mean, Ultimate Warrior can be good with the right opponent. Sergeant Slaughter is not going to give Ultimate Warrior a great match.
I didn't get the name of the chick, but I just called her a bride.
Oh, Sensational Sherry.
Okay.
Sherry's great.
Yeah. Been flirting with the Warrior to,
That's a
to
great
just
segment.
give up the title or something.
No, to give the Macho King a title shot. To guarantee him one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why Macho ends up screwing him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's really well thought out.
It's like,
no! Yeah.
I love that part, though.
So next up, we have the Mountie with Jimmy Hart in his corner against Coco Beware with Frankie the Bird.
Excuse me?
Frankie the Bird.
No, excuse me. What is this match?
I don't know. There's
I thought this was the Rich Boys versus the Fatsos.
Oh, did you not get the Mountie?
No, that was not in this.
Your version didn't have the Mountie.
No, it didn't.
Oh, but it's the Mountie. He always gets his man.
It didn't. It wasn't in there.
Oh, that's so sad. Okay, it's on the network version. The Mountie is basically, well, he's a wrestling Mountie. A gimmick that they were not allowed to do in Canada.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay, so I guess we won't really talk about that. It's kind of a nothing match. It's basically
fair, but
it's basically just to get the Mountie over. Okay, so we'll move on to Ted DiBiase and Virgil against Dusty Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes.
So there's like one fatso and there's one skinny fatso. It's basically what I called them.
It's goddamn Dusty Rhodes.
Yes, I know.
It's Dusty Rhodes.
Yes.
Do
I know wrestlers? No.
How do you not know Dusty Rhodes?
Because I don't watch wrestling?
Yeah, but like, it's Dusty Rhodes. He's like iconic.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
That's like saying you don't know who Hulk Hogan is to a certain segment of the population.
It's like saying you don't know what Naruto is.
No. Hulk Hogan was like an icon. Naruto is a stupid little cartoon.
Which
It's an anime,
surprisingly
not
enough,
a
is also
cartoon.
an icon.
But anyways.
Anyway, Ted DiBiase and Virgil against Dusty and Dustin Rhodes. What'd you think of this?
What'd you say?
What'd you think of this match?
Oh.
Because it had Dusty, baby.
I like the rich boy strategy. Just get in there and take him out.
Ted DiBiase is so... Okay, so this match has 3 people who are very capable. It also has Virgil.
Yep.
So Ted DiBiase and Dusty Rhodes are great. Dustin Rhodes, he isn't great yet, but he would get like some pretty cool... He would get to do some cool stuff later on in his career. He would go on to play the character Goldust.
Ah.
Which you're
Interesting.
probably not familiar with.
Semi-familiar.
Okay.
It's like all that face paint, isn't he?
Yeah. He would also do a similar character in TNA called Black Rain.
Okay.
Which is basically like the evil version of Goldust, sort of.
Okay, then.
He also had a gimmick in WCW called Seven, where he like floated to the ring, and it was stupid expensive, and he literally floated down to the ring, got in the ring, grabbed a microphone, and said, "This gimmick shit, isn't it?" That's basically what happened. They spent a stupid amount of money on all this shit, and the minute he went out, they buried it. That's why WCW isn't in business anymore, kids.
Oh boy, that's great. Anyway,
Also because they had Mortal Kombat characters, but that's another thing.
Okay then.
I mean, that's basically what Mortis was.
Anyway, I like how the rich boys couldn't stay in the ring all too well.
Well, no,
For
I
the
mean,
first while in the match.
like, they're getting their comeuppance from the babyface. From the babyface. It's like, that's just wrestling.
Yeah.
What do you think of Dusty Rhodes?
Alright.
Okay, so Dusty, I would argue, was never a great technical wrestler. Dusty's ability was in playing to the crowd and talking.
Did they do?
He didn't really get a chance to talk
talking.
much.
No, there's not much talking in there. I mean, the only mentions of talking was from what's his name? Just the one guy that just told Virgil to get in there and
Ted
take him out.
DiBiase.
Yeah.
Ted DiBiase, also a great promo, but a much better technical wrestler, I would argue. So I quite enjoyed the match. I thought it was fun, but I guess you didn't enjoy it as much.
Well, the part that I really enjoyed was after they finished. Virgil goes in and he's like, "Put this belt around me," and just like slaps him with the belt and spits on it and slaps him on.
Yeah, he's degrading Virgil.
Yeah.
Which is, like, this at this point, I want to say this is in its, like... Oh, this has been going on for a while. Where the whole storyline is, like, Ted DiBiase has, like, millions of dollars, and he's humiliating people to get his money. Like, he did a thing on a... I forget if it was, like, Wrestling Challenge or Superstars or whatever. But, like, he would have people go in the ring and do things to get money. So, like, he would pull, like, a plant from the audience and be like, "If you can bounce this ball 5 times, I'll give you $100. He'd have them bounce it 4 times and then kick it away. And then laugh at them. Yeah, it was great. Or, like, when he would beat somebody, he'd put a $100 bill in their mouth.
Okay then.
It's a great gimmick.
Oh boy. We're getting into the Rumble now.
It's time for the Rumble! It's time for the Royal Rumble!
Royal Rumble.
Unfortunately, that's not in this Rumble, but... So, the Royal Rumble. Why don't you explain the rules of the Royal Rumble, as you know them to be?
Alright, so we start off with 2 guys in the ring, and
Yes.
The goal is to throw a guy over the top rope, and they have to hit the floor, and then they be considered out.
Yeah, basically. Both feet have to hit the floor.
Yes.
So they have played with that rule a lot over the years.
Okay, so for the most part, I wrote somewhere in here that it seems like because the purple underpants guy couldn't stay in the ring, had some interesting way of staying in the ring because he kept going over the top rope every now and then and back in through whatever.
Yes, but as long as both your feet don't touch the floor, you're not eliminated.
Yeah, I thought it would just make up the rules as they go or something.
No, the rules are there for a reason.
Okay,
And they are actually followed this one time.
but yeah. Anyway, for the most part. I also wrote down I don't give any shit about the names of anyone in this match, except for a few.
Okay.
So I mostly refer to them by their color of their underpants, hair, or shirt.
Let me just go through a list of some of the people in this match. So, for everybody at home who might not be familiar.
So we have Royal Underpants, and who else was at the start?
Okay, so to start, we have Bret Hart and Dino Bravo.
Royal Underpants and Black Underpants.
I'm just going to list a few of the people who would arguably be considered legends that are in this match.
Okay. And I'll just... Oh wait, no, it was pink at the start, wasn't it?
Yes, because it's Bret Hart. So
Right,
Bret
yeah.
Hart, Greg Valentine, Kerry Von Erich, the Texas Tornado, Rick Martel, Jake Roberts, Hercules, The Undertaker, Jimmy Snuka, the British Bulldog, Randy Savage...
Except that he
Jim
wasn't
Duggan.
in this because...
Oh, well, no, he should have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, he no-showed in storyline. Jim Duggan, The Earthquake, Mr. Perfect, Hulk Hogan, Jim Neidhart, and because he's the greatest ever, the Warlord.
Did you mention Earthquake already?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I definitely mentioned Quake.
Okay.
Those are just a few of the people who I would argue are main event or legendary talents.
Did they also mention that every 2 minutes they bring in another participant? That's kind of the thing in this Royal Rumble.
What?
Well, yeah, that was just mentioning the rules.
What?
That every 2 minutes another
Yes,
participant.
another 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's kind of rough on that one.
Yeah, it's what's known as Titan time. It's really when Vince decides somebody else needs to be added to the match. Send him out there, god damn it!
Yeah, when no one is throwing anyone out and everyone's in a hold for a few minutes or a few seconds, gotta throw in another person to kind of break someone out.
Yeah,
Basically.
so we start off with Bret Hart and Dino Bravo to start things off. So overall, what did you kind of think of the Royal Rumble as a concept?
Oh, it's chaotic for someone who has to start. I mean, I can't imagine someone starting the Royal Rumble and finishing at the end.
It has happened.
That must be a bloody nightmare.
A few people have done it. So Ric Flair didn't technically start, but he came in at number 3 and went the distance. Rey Mysterio was either number 1 or 2 and won the Rumble, going over an hour. And Chris Benoit also went an hour-ish. Those are the ones that come to mind right away. But I mean, in this match, Greg Valentine goes 44 minutes.
Yeah.
He comes in at number 3.
Is that purple underpants?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to what color their tights were, Justin.
I can't really differentiate anyone without noticing what they're wearing.
Okay. So...
They all look like naked guys to me.
So... Was anybody in this match that stood out to you?
Well, obviously, The Undertaker, Hulk Hogan, and Earthquake. Well, even though I called Earthquake by the name of Fat Onesie.
That's an accurate description.
Yeah, it pretty much is.
But he's great.
Yeah, he is great. And British... What's his face?
Bulldog?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody that stood out for the wrong reasons? Anybody that you just kind of looked at and went, they're shit?
No, even Tugboat. Oh, what were those bushwhacker guys who just march
the bushwhackers?
I just love the guy that just Marches in, gets thrown out immediately, and just bushwhacks off.
Yeah.
I'm like, yep, and he's gone.
So the Bushwhackers were a comedy team in the WWF. Prior to that, they were known as the Sheep Herders, and they were like this ultra-violent tag team from New Zealand.
I also called them Wacky White Pants.
Okay, that's pretty good. I'll give you that.
Yes.
This is obviously won by Hulk Hogan because it's
Obviously.
in the 90s and Hogan had to win.
Well, yeah, the crowd went wild when he went in, so it's like, yeah, this is the winner.
Yeah, well, it's also because it's Hogan and he's like, God damn it, brother, I gotta go over.
Yeah.
Even though arguably, I could have picked a few other people who I'd have rather see win.
Like Earthquake?
Yes, legitimately, Earthquake would have been a good choice.
Oh yeah, Mr. Perfect was also in this somewhere.
Yes, because he's perfect.
Yeah, I just call him Perfect Blondie because I don't know.
They did some great segments for Mr. Perfect before he debuted. So he would be doing things like in one he was shooting baskets from a 3-point line, and he'd be dropping them all consistently. Or there's one where he's playing football and he's a quarterback and he throws the ball and then he runs and catches his own pass. There's all this great stuff they did. Oh, it's so good. Okay, so anything else you wanted to mention about the Royal Rumble? The Royal Rumble?
Royal Rumble. Not really. It was a really long match, of course. I mean, nearly 50 minutes-ish.
Yeah, it's an hour and 5 minutes.
Hour and 5 minutes? Okay, yeah.
Okay, so one other quick little fact. Do you remember Kerry Von Erich, the Texas Tornado? They probably wouldn't have called him Kerry Von Erich.
Who was he?
I think he had on white, long hair. He would have been early in the match, number 5.
He probably wore black underpants or something.
I think it was white. I don't remember. I think he normally wore white, but I could be wrong.
There was somebody that named Tidy Whities.
That might have been Kerry Von Erich. Here, I'll pull up a picture. That'll make it easier.
Sure.
Kerry Von Erich.
Can't recognize him.
Okay, so a little piece of trivia for those of you at home. Kerry Von Erich had 1 foot.
No, he wouldn't have been wearing Tidy Whities then. Because, he would have pants, wouldn't he?
No, he had a fake foot.
Just a fake foot? So he would
Yes.
be wearing some kind of boots of sorts to make it look like he has boots.
Well, he's still but he had a false foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he lost one in a motorcycle accident.
Gotcha.
Yep. Just a little fun fact. And apparently nobody knew for quite a while when he went to the WWF.
And kicked out once people found it.
Well, kind of. There was other reasons that he ended up leaving, but
Okay.
we won't go into the long tragic history of the Von Erichs. Because that is a long, very sad topic.
Yep, and everyone praises Hulk in the end, and Hulk does his taunts waving the American flag, and yeah, that's the Royal Rumble.
It basically sets up Hogan versus Slaughter for WrestleMania. How excited are you to see that match?
I don't know.
Hulk Hogan versus Sergeant Slaughter. Okay, so here's the thing. They were expecting that match to effectively sell 100,000 seats.
It sold more?
Oh no, son.
Oh, no, it didn't?
Oh no, son. They were expecting to sell out the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, which would seat about 100,000 people.
Oh.
They had to move across the street to a much smaller arena,
Oh, no.
about 15,000 people.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yes.
And they were expecting to sell that, and then...
Well, for WrestleMania 3 in Pontiac, they had sold, they claimed 100,000, I think. But 100,000 and 100% legit. Anyway, they were expecting to do that again with... Okay, so the match there was Hogan versus Andre. Here, they had Hogan versus Sergeant Slaughter. He's kind of broken down. Can't really do much anymore. Yeah. Anyway. So, what did you think of the Royal Rumble overall?
Didn't I see a better one at some point?
I have shown you the 92 Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
which is a better match.
Yeah, I thought I saw something that was better in that regard, so...
Yeah, that's the one with Ric Flair going like an hour. And it's
Yeah.
Ric Flair, and Bobby Heenan's on commentary, so it's immediately amazing.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
And then Ric Flair cuts his like arguably most famous promo with a tear in my eye.
Yeah, I can't really say much about the commentary on this one terribly.
It's pretty bland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not enough of Macho Man Randy Savage.
No, but is there ever enough?
There's never enough. There needs to be more. He was there for a little bit of it, but he wasn't, a commentator. So
Macho
Macho
should just have been commentating on everything.
Exactly.
He's so good because he's just so shit. He's just not a good commentator, but it's amazing.
Ooh yeah!
Do the thing.
Anyway, that's the Royal Rumble and stuff of 91.
Yes. So you had me watch Avatar, The Last Airboring.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes.
Which is not really anime, it is a cartoon by Nickelodeon.
Yes, well, it's close enough.
Yeah, it has a storyline.
Well, everything is... Anyway. So...
Well, it's not like Doug or something like that. This has, plot.
If you say so. Okay, so I'm going to try to explain the first 4 episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender as best I can.
Go for it.
So there's these 2... At first I thought they were meant to be Inuit, but now I'm not sure.
They're Water Nation.
So,
South Pole Water Nation
I'm going to call them Inuit.
of the South Pole.
Yes.
Okay.
I see no problems with this. Okay, so the first episode is called The Boy in the Iceberg. Gee, I wonder what's going to happen.
This Boy in the Iceberg.
Yep, I really hated that.
Why?
Oh, okay, so we get at the beginning, it's this whole thing of like, 1,000 years ago or whatever, there was this dude who was like super, super duper badass, and then he just up and vanished.
100 years, but close enough.
Whatever.
And then war broke out, and all the airbenders died.
Yes, at least as far as we know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then Homeboy, who's in the iceberg, kind of breaks out and like freaks out these 2 Inuit kids. I'm still calling them Inuit, I don't care. And then he's all like, hey, did I take a nap for 10 minutes or some bullshit? And he's got like this flying, what is it? Like a yak or something?
Bison.
Bison? Okay, well I wasn't far
has
off
6
yet.
legs and a big beaver tail thing.
I do like the design of that.
Yeah.
I like that. So yeah, he's all like, hey, I'm an airbender dude who can bend air. And we find out later other elements because he's the Avatar.
Well, no shit.
And one of the little Inuit kids is, I forget her name, but she's trying to learn to become a waterbender.
Yeah. I think it was her... I'm trying to remember her name. I think it's Katora.
So that sounds
Something.
right.
And there's also Sokka, her
Yeah.
brother.
And then we find out that basically the waterbenders and the firebenders are at war.
I think it's just the firebenders at war with everyone.
Okay. So, yeah, then what else happens? That's basically the first episode.
Yeah,
or
it kind of sets up the a few elements like meeting the airbender, and also a bit of shenanigans with the Fire Nation with Zuko, who's looking for the Avatar.
Yes, because he wants to, like, kill the Avatar?
Capture the Avatar.
Why does he want to capture the Avatar?
Good question. I think he wants to bring it to his father to show that, to show his own worth to his father.
Why not kill the Avatar and then bring him the dead body?
Well,
because if there's no other airbenders, if he finds an airbender and kills him, he must have been the Avatar.
I think they want to use the Avatar's powers for something, or use them for war. I don't really know.
So it's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay. At least we agree on that. So we end up going to this air temple later on.
Yeah, after the first 2 episodes, it's basically a singular episode, because it just finishes the plot of what happens there.
We're basically introduced to everyone, and we get a little bit of like, hey, there's a larger thing at play here.
Yes, they kind of go into a bit of backstory of Vang, who is the Airbender.
Which is a dumb name. I really hate that they call him Aang.
Yeah, it should be Ong.
Also because it makes me think of Ang Lee, and he made a terrible Hulk movie.
Anyway.
Anyway, so we go to the Air Temple, which is actually pretty cool.
Yep.
It's got a bunch of cool designs, and like they're going around, and Aang's all like, hey, this place is super sick, or at least it was.
Yeah, back in, 100 years ago.
Yep, because this is as subtle as a brick to the face. Yeah, And then, okay, what all happens? And then he finds out that the Fire Nation and killed all the Airbenders.
Yep.
And then he goes all, like, Super Saiyan.
Yeah, he basically activates his avatar powers, and apparently that also alerted every freaking nation that the avatar's alive.
Somehow, which is never can really explained how that works, at least not in these episodes.
Yeah. I mean, actually, when he activates his avatar powers, all the eyes start glowing in the temple with all the avatars, like, of previous generations as well.
And there's, like, the one that he's drawn to where it's like, oh, that's...
The one that's the past one.
Yeah. And, like, that you're, like, a reincarnation of that person or something? Is that how that's meant to work?
Kind of.
Okay.
Just kind of.
Okay, so the fourth episode, they go to this...
Yeah, this is the one where sexist Sokka...
Yeah, they go to this, I almost want to say planet, because it's basically fucking Star Trek, but not as good.
Planet of the Women.
They go to this, like, island or whatever, where these like, giant, like, fish thingies that What's-His-Nuts wants to ride.
Unagi, which is just a giant eel, but anyway.
Sure, why not? And then he's, like, riding them, and they end up, for some reason, staying with this village.
Yeah, he kind of lets the Avatar thing go to his head a bit too much. I just love, I love the villagers' reactions going, oh my god, the Avatar! It starts foaming at the mouth.
So yeah, he's basically being a dick, and then he's all like, oh, I shouldn't be a dick.
Yeah.
And What's-His-Nuts ends up getting trained in combat by the chicks there.
Yep.
Because all their women are warriors or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's kind of like... Okay, explain to me why this is such a big deal. Because I know Avatar is, like, a big deal for, like... I know it's not technically anime, but it's fucking close enough.
Okay, so... I think it mostly has to do with the animation, for the most part. It has brilliant animation. Like, with all the special effects and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like...
I thought it was fine, but I didn't think it was anything special.
Oh yeah, it looks... I would say the last 4 episodes really show its peak of, like, the entire series.
Okay, fair enough.
It kind of leads up to, like, a bunch of different effects going on simultaneously. Like, rock effects, air, and fire, water. Obviously, Avatar doing everything at once.
Okay.
And it works. And the story also works as well. Like, it moves forward progressively. There are a few bumps here and there with some of the episodes not as great as other ones, but it does have a deep story.
Okay.
Certainly not as deep or gruesome as, like, something like Batman or something like that, but I mean, it's a cartoon aimed at kids, but I mean, it's also played out like an anime.
I totally see the appeal of this for kids.
Yeah.
I don't see the appeal for anybody else. Like, I don't think I'll watch any more of this.
Okay.
Which is sad, because, like, on one hand, I was like, oh, I've heard a lot of really good things about Avatar. Maybe I'll give it a try. I wish, like, it's not even that it's bad, it's just, like, it's aimed at, like, 8-year-olds. And I think that's my issue. If it was aimed at 13-year-olds and it could get a little darker, I think I would like it more. It's too...
Yeah.
I can't think of a good analogy, but it's, like, it's too much of
Too
something.
Nickelodeon?
Too Nickelodeon, not enough Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah, fair enough. I can see that. It does have a lot of slapstick humor in a way, like when Sokka got hit by a snot ball by the bison.
Yeah, there's definitely that, and it's just like, it's not funny to me.
Yeah, there are moments like that. Just here and there. There is, like, one episode in the middle of, like, the second season that, has, like, no plot progression. They're just kind of having a day spent in this one town. And it's also kind of technically a very important episode that has to do with, Zuko's uncle.
Okay.
It's heartwarming and a bit sad at the same time. It's interesting. There are some episodes that are, like, really good in that sort of sense.
Okay. So I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I think we need to watch the live-action movie.
That is something that absolutely sucks. It is all exposition and no character.
I think we need to watch the live-action movie, Justin.
I'm going to kill you.
We're going to watch the live-action movie, Justin.
I'm going to destroy you.
There's also apparently going to be a live-action series for Netflix.
That sounds horrifying.
You like their Castlevania stuff.
It's not the same producer.
No, but Netflix has a reputation for doing really good quality stuff.
Yeah, sure. I mean, but it's not the same person directing it or anything like that, so it's gonna be, you know...
I believe it is, like being... Let me just do a little... a new live-action...
I swear, if you say I'm not Shyamalan, I'm going to destroy you.
I don't know what any of that meant. A new live-action remake of the series... Oh, dumbass. No. A new live-action remake of the series by its original creators was produced for Netflix and announced in September of 2018. See, the original creators are involved in it.
Okay.
So, it might be good.
It might be a lot better than the movie.
We're gonna have to watch the movie. You know that, right?
Fuck this.
Okay, so, I think that's pretty much about it about Avatar. Now,
sure.
I am able to announce the next pay-per-view I will be having you watch.
Scary.
Actually, it's a good thing you brought that word up. Because, you know, I know we're a little past Halloween now. Which is sad, but I quite like Halloween. But there's not enough Havoc. It's Halloween Havoc, 1997.
Oh, boy.
I picked this basically for 2 matches. Well, 3 matches. One, a really, really great match between Rey Mysterio Jr. and Eddie Guerrero, which I think you'll really enjoy. It'll be very fast-paced, a lot of fun. And then we get to the main event. And in typical WCW fashion, the main event will be utter shit. It is, in 1997, remember. So 6 years after the pay-per-view you just watched. Rowdy Roddy Piper against Hulk Hogan in a steel cage.
Everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
Also, you'll get to see Randy Savage against Diamond Dallas Page.
Alright.
And a bunch of other matches as well, obviously. But I think you'll enjoy parts of the show. I don't think you'll enjoy the main event. Because as Jim Cornette said in a promo on Raw one week, after 5 minutes, those two were sucking wind so hard the first three rows of the audience passed out from oxygen deprivation. I might have you watch that Jim Cornette promo as well. So, until next time, I'm Paul.
And Justin.